Hello, I hope everybody's doing well. Um, I'm doing pretty well today, actually. I had a couple days where I have a mint in my mouth and Baku. This is Baku. This is the one you usually don't see. Baku loves mint, so I think he can smell it. You smelling my mint in my mouth? Anyway, great start we're getting off to here. But yeah, I had a rough couple days this week. Um, and I just had a rough bout. Like April, May were hard for me. Um, really, the whole like first part of the year was kind of tough. Um, and okay, I want to be like this video where I can say I'm doing great, and this is this and that and all that. But the problem with me is that I kind of ride a roller coaster a little bit, and so sometimes I'll feel really good and be up here, and then I crash again. And so one of the biggest things that I'm working on is not crashing, and being able to sustain a certain level of just wellness and awareness and lucidity about myself, because I just had a good day. Like, I'll kind of get to the thought that I had today, but I had some family come visit, which is often very stressful for me. And one of the biggest things that I'm trying to work on is like letting go and holding things with an open hand. And I think for a long time, I'm just a very particular person, and I like things a certain way and I want things to be a certain way. And when they're not that way, I can struggle, you know? And one of the things I've really been trying to work on is just kind of letting go my grip and just kind of holding things. The analogy that I always think of is just holding things in my hands, in my palms, open. And, just not, I just feel like I've white knuckled so much of my life. The cats are being cute. They're happy I'm here giving them attention. So anyway, I had family come today and visit, and I really just tried to be like, you know what? The day I'm having is the day I'm having, and I'm thankful to have these people who like love me and really care about me. And I'm going to spend time with them and just enjoy it. And you know what? I did. I love my city. I have beautiful outdoor green spaces that I can enjoy, and the weather was gorgeous today. And it sort of raises the question of like, I've talked about this before. Am I allowed to have fun right now? Do I have a sort of obligation to enjoy being alive? It's a tough question, but I've also spent so much time agonizing over the things that have been difficult for me, and certainly the ways that the world has been unjust to other people, especially marginalized people and all of that. And me killing myself over that has not helped anything. And that's not to say that I just want to like bury my head in the sand of hedonism and only ever care about like enjoying my life, because I've also done that, and that sucked. Like, I was so just in my own world and unwilling to look around me. So I really want to like focus on being there for the people in my life and just doing what I can. And a big part of that has been learning to take care of myself, which I'm doing, and we'll get to that. So anyway, I just had this family come, and I was able to like, there was an air about the day that I just felt like I was able to let go a little bit and just be in the moment and kind of meet my circumstances where they are, if that makes sense, and not be so obsessed with like, I wish I could have a different type of day with these people that I still love and care about a lot, and just have the day I had with people I love and care about and be there with them. Does that make sense? So that happened. And then my best friend and I went thrifting. Oh, and they're right here. I can just grab one. I don't know if anybody here goes thrift shopping. It is something that started as like cool and trendy for me and now is like I can never go back. And I'm about to tell you exactly why. I have wanted a pair of cowboy boots for a long time because they are practical, they're comfortable, and they're cute and they're trendy. And I love a boot. Like, I love a sturdy shoe, you know? And I was looking and looking and looking, and I almost bought one pair that was like $50. I've almost bought a couple pairs on Depop, and I was like, no, I want to thrift a pair of cowboy boots. And I want to get them at a deal. I want them to fit. Like, I want it to be one of those, like, aha thrifting moments. You know what I mean? Deku really wants attention right now. Good boy. And you know what? I went to the thrift store, and lo and behold, a pair of authentic leather, made in Mexico. Like, there are nails in the bottoms of these shoes. In this, you can see them glinting in the light. These are real sturdy, nice cowboy boots. And I was so excited. I freaked out. These were $6, by the way, for the pair. Not even each. For the pair, they were $6. And I know it's silly that I'm so excited about something like that, but that's something I get excited about. And I just had a good day. And I haven't had a good day in a long time like this. And then my friend and I went to the pool, and we had fun at the pool and just enjoyed laying out in the sun and swimming around like mermaids, even though I'm almost 30, because I'll never stop swimming like a mermaid in the pool. Duh. I grew up on H2O Just Add Water. Hello. And then we watched the rest of Hacks. And that was so good. And I want to talk about that in a second too. But I think the biggest thing for me today was I was just like at the pool at my apartment, and I was looking around, and I just thought back to last summer when this breakup happened, and that was kind of the final chapter, the final piece of the California chapter of my life. I talked about this a lot, and I wasn't ready to let it go yet, and my partner was, and decided to end the relationship. And I was just floundering last year. I think that's the closest I've ever had to a manic episode, if not a full, like, again, I haven't talked to like a medical professional about it at length, but if I would have ever have had a manic episode, it was last summer, because I just felt so insane and so dysregulated and like not myself, and just like amped up all the time, you know? And then I went back out to that pool that I haven't been to since last year, and I was just thinking about my life and like how different I feel and how much I feel like myself, and I feel like I've learned so much and grown so much and like come into myself as an adult so much. And it's only been a year, and it feels like I lived, you know, all this time in California, and I was just like so confused and didn't know what to do. And then it all kind of went away, and I knew when I moved back here to the East Coast, to where I'm from, to the Carolinas, that like it was gonna take a minute, but like this is home to me. And I could talk about that at length too, and like what that means to me living in the South and having grown up here and everything. But I don't know, I just looked around and I'm like very thankful. Just for like, because I think I'm gonna cry. I think kind of the point that I'm reaching is like I feel like my entire adult life on my fucking face on the floor. And I just feel like recently, with this push of like I'm back in therapy, I'm thinking about getting on medication, like I just cleaned my room the past few days because I knew family was coming and they might come into my apartment. They didn't even come into my apartment, by the way, but like I cleaned my room, and I just had a conversation with myself of like, I don't want to do it. It's a chore, you know, I don't want to have to, but I'm looking around my room and it's like as clean as it's been in a while. And I'm like, fuck, that wasn't so hard. And this feels great to have a clean apartment. And I guess my point is like saying I've been fucking face first on the floor in just a pool of my own blood, sweat, and tears. And like not in a romanticized way, in a really fucked up way for like most of my adult life. And I just feel like the past few weeks, even just coming out of this last bout of sickness, I'm like, I'm ready to get up, you know? And I don't know if it's just that, like getting sick again made me realize how much I don't want to go back to that place and how like sad and scary it is. It's just moving on is hard, I think, because I think when you move on from people or a time in your life, it can feel like leaving that behind and like almost forgetting it maybe. And I still care so deeply about like everything I experienced in that time of my life, and certainly the time I spent with my people and like someone who I was incredibly close to for 5 years, who's like not really part of my life anymore. But I don't think, I mean, you can't just sit and wallow in it forever. And I don't think moving on from something or someone is like, you know, I'm not shutting those things out of my life, but I can't live in the past, you know? So, and the beauty too, as a writer, is that I will be able to write about those things in my career. They will always be part of me, you know, and my work and what I have to say. Like, you know, it's that like cliche or whatever of like, you're a tapestry of every experience you've ever had. And so I'm excited to honor those parts of myself. That's how I do. I think like yesterday, I'm just continuing to exist is such an ever evolving like relationship to yourself. And I think how I knew that I was entering a new phase or becoming a new self, I had become a new self, is that I yesterday was like, I'm ready to write about LA. I want to write it memoir style, just like go. And I have all these other projects I'm trying to work on, and I don't know what that would look like. But I think the thing that was most important to me in that moment is like, but I'm ready. I'm ready to turn around and look at it and examine it and like, because for so long I was still just in the emotions and like the heartbreak of all of it, you know? So, anyway, personhood is such a difficult thing, and like I said, it's an ever evolving relationship and engagement, but it's something that I've enjoyed, is trying to get to know myself better, obviously. Hence why we're doing this video, and we do all the videos and stuff. Deku, you're being cute. Anyway, so yeah, that's the waterworks. But I think another like indicator to me that I'm kind of moving on is that I watched Hacks with my best friend. The final season is done. The show's done, and it's one of those things that I had watched all for the first 4 seasons, and then until we started watching season 5, I forgot how much I loved this show. Like, and it's one of those things where I look back and like I can sit here and critique all the little tiny idiosyncrasies of the storylines of the characters and how satisfying they are for a finale, and things that feel like a plot device versus something that's a more natural exploration of the characters, and blah 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 blah. And you know what I did? I just sat back and I said, shut up, that whole part of my head and my psyche, and just watched the goddamn show. And I had a great time with it, and it was funny. And I don't know, I was thinking about like sitting here and doing a whole video about, again, the way story functions in different ways. Sorry, I'm all like stuffy because I was just crying. But like the way that stories function in different ways, and we want to see, you know, our protagonists get you know, their victories. And I think Hacks is a show that's always been like very good about that. It's like the good guys get their their due and the bad guys get their sort of comeuppance or whatever, like in a very traditional, like making wrongs right kind of way of storytelling. And it has like some things that I don't super love about the way it's all tied up into like capitalism and like traditional money and success, and like I don't always super vibe with those things. Again, very Ava of me to talk like this. If you've seen the show, you know. Anyway, but to just like be able to sit back and after spending so much time, so many agonizing hours of like analyzing story for the sake of optimization, for the sake of like creating the best thing that's ever existed. And that's not possible. That's not real. Like art is subjective, you know, and different things will hit differently for different people. But more importantly, like art as an expression of they did a whole episode in this final season of Hacks about art as an inherent expression of the human condition and the process being important because they were railing against AI, which, you know, is very topical and is either going to date the show or like make it a real product of its time in a really interesting way. We'll see. But anyway, I just really enjoyed it. I'm just trying to enjoy things. And again, I don't want to get caught in like I'm having a good moment and being like, I'm amazing, I'm healed, you know, I'm better, I'm mentally well, nothing bad will ever happen again, because that's a narrative I can get tied up in with myself. But I think just I'm learning to give myself some grace and to take my time and to do what I need to do. And one of the things I'm working on is trusting myself, for sure, and listening to my body and taking care of myself and all those things. But I just feel like I'm turning over a new leaf. And it's funny because I think, like, again, along the lines of traditional success, I am working a bartending job. I'm broke. Like I'm just, you know, it's kind of like, oh, whatever. But to me, like I feel all the time more fulfilled, happier, more myself, like, and so I'm just really hoping I can translate this momentum that I've felt in my personal life into more of my career and my writing and just like sharing that with people, because I have a lot to fucking say all the time and I want to start sharing those things. So anyway, this was a good one. I mean, I feel good, obviously. And again, I'm turning right back around and being like, I can't trust that. I can't trust myself. Again, we're working on that. But I feel really lucid and regulated and like calm right now, which is a good sign to me. So anyway, no, I'm good. I'm about to head into 5 days of work in a row, which I know for normal people who work 9 to 5s, that's their typical. But in the service industry, that is a tough stretch and it can be hard on your body. And my voice gets really tired and all such things. So I'm just going to try and keep taking care of myself as per usual. But I am feeling encouraged tonight in terms of my overall healing. And I remember a friend that I have lost, and probably the only friend that I've like really fully lost through like a falling out. You know, usually it's just you fall out of touch with people. But this was just a set of circumstances and a set of sort of personality clashes that, anyway. But I remember when we had the conversation of like, we're not going to be friends anymore. And she just looked at me and was like, I hope you can find peace someday. And in the moment, I was, I think, resentful of that because I don't need to get into that. But I do remember feeling like touched by it a little bit in that moment, even though I was really mad and hurt by all of it. And I don't know, I just think about that every once in a while because I think I'm getting closer to peace all the time. And that's cool. And like having that come from inside myself and identifying identifying my values, my true values, and aligning my life with them, and just decentralizing my life and just having so many different facets of the way that I live in my life that are fulfilling. And honestly, I feel like a lot of this is just me spending less time on my phone and going, life is worth a living. Oh my God, I got off my phone for 2 seconds and now everything feels better. But like, again, it feels like a mindset shift. Like I look at my phone and I go, there's nothing for me here. Like I can get sort of momentary like fun from it if I want that, but I mean we all are so susceptible to scrolling for hours, and I'm like, I've known intellectually that my time is more valuable than that, you know? But I think again, even just in the past couple weeks, being like knowing that and being like, I would much rather invest my time into other things that make me really happy, like reading, you know? And, you know, the more I think you continue to invest in those things that like genuinely do give you energy and make you feel happy and loved and fulfilled or whatever, like the more you continue that momentum, you know? So again, I'm sure I'll crash out tomorrow and make another video crying about how fucking awful I am. But I'm hoping that this is not a fluke. And I'm hoping that, again, like I can just maintain this sort of air of like lucidity, level-headedness, and just keep moving. So anyway, yeah, I've got a long, busy week ahead of me, but I think it'll be fine. And I think that's all I have to say about this tonight. I'm tired. I need to go to sleep and take care of myself because, like I said, big week ahead. Cool. Well, I will talk to you soon. I hope everybody's good. Take care of yourselves. Read good books or watch good movies or go look at a tree outside, touch some grass. Just do the things that you know you need to do to take care of yourself. And even if you resent them in the moment, if you do them enough, maybe they'll become a habit and they will make you happy. And, you know, whatever. You don't need life advice from me. I'm a fucking mess. Okay, I'm gonna go. Gotta get ready for bed. Okay, have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Bye.